Keith from pickinglessons.com. This is such a beautiful tune, O'Carolan 174. Now, we're in the key of C, and on the banjo here, we're playing this melodic arrangement in drop C tuning. D on string 4 is tuned down to a C. It's really lovely. In a moment, we're going to take a look at part A of the tune here in this video. But if you head to pickinglessons.com, you're able to grab yourself a copy of the tablature, and in the member section, we'll break down part B, and we'll break that down into a lesson, and you'll have a play along and backing track there as well. pickinglessons.com. Okay, let's have a look at part A. So as I mentioned, we're in drop C tuning. So our standard banjo tuning, except string 4, is down to a C. So what we end up with is that high G, low C, G, B, and D. Now, that gives us the opportunity to play that low C in the melody. We're in the key of C for this tune. So straight up we have that open C in the melody. So we're going to really utilize that on that 4th string. Let's have a bit of a look at what's happening. We're in 6/8 time. So 2 pulses to the measure broken into 6 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is our feel. And we do have that rhythm feature as we go through, plus variations, of course. Our pickup note is on the 6th, 8th note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 to our first beat. So it's on the 6th, 8th note as we count in. Now, it's a rather slow tune, so that's going to help us learn it, but we've got some positions we really need to keep in mind for our left hand. We'll check those out as we come across them. And the right hand is all in the tablature. It's a melodic tune. We've got a little bit of single string at times as well. So we'll just see how we go. So that pickup note on the open G to the 3rd finger on the 4th fret there. And there's our opening little phrase. So we can use our thumb in a pretty dominant way on string 4. That's going to be okay. Slow tune won't really matter. Yeah. Moving on to measure 2. Let's break this one down a little. First of all, the first half of the bar, we have this rhythm 1, 2, and 3. With that hammer on, back to that C there on fret 1. 1, 2, and 3. Just the index and thumb will get the job done there. Now, second half of the measure though, into this position here. So we've got that 2nd fret, little finger on 5th. So we have some rather large stretches we're going to deal with. And on that second half of the measure, we can just use our index finger and thumb. It's such a slow tempo, we can double up with our fingers as required for the melody. That's okay. So measure 2, ready, and. Yeah, and even that time I went thumb, index, thumb. So we're going to have variations that we can use in our right hand. In the tablature though, we've got a suggestion. So if you're kind of getting stuck with your fingering, follow what I've got in there. Otherwise, have a play around with it. Melodic at times, single string at other times. Measure 3. So here, again, I'm using my thumb on string 4, and then as soon as we get to those 2 adjacent strings, index and thumb. Yeah? This section here we're climbing, so we've started off with this E to C. Yeah, the G back to the E, and we keep climbing through measure 4 and 5. So measure 4 there we have this big stretch again, and ideally you want to hold on to these, because part of the charm of this tune is and the way we're playing it is we're letting all those notes overlap in that melodic way, and those strings, the notes on adjacent strings really let us kind of get that harp-like sound. Now, remembering O'Carolan was a harpist himself, it's kind of nice to get that sound in our playing. So if we hold on to those notes, let them overlap, we've got this really lovely continuation of those notes as we're playing. So we get this really nice overlap of sound. So that position there, open strings easy, 3rd finger there, so we can use our 1st finger on the F as it comes in. So that's 4 and 5, even measure 3, it really shows us our time signature that we're in. So if we play from measure 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 pulses. Yeah, 2 pulses, but we've got that grouping of 6 eighth notes throughout. Measure 6, we have a variation of rhythm. So measure 6, we have 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to hold on to the first note. It's got a dot next to it, so we hold on to that for an extra half of its length. And then that 16th note to the 7th. So counting wise, 1, 2, and 3. We've finished off with finger 3 there, so we're going to use our pinky just to jump across. And back to the first and third fingers. Here we are, towards the end, measure 7. Same rhythm structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just to close it out. Nice big stretch. Again, try and hold onto that C so we get that overlap of our notes. And that pick-up note there, just as we had at the beginning, will get us back on the repeat. We do play this twice. So left hand position is important. Hold on to those shapes where we can. So we have some big stretches going on as we move through, and let those notes ring over one another so that we create that kind of length in our sound and that overlap of our notes, which sounds really cool. Now, the right hand, as I mentioned, follow along in the tablature if you're a little stuck, but it's a slower tempo. For our right hand fingering, you can probably get away with a few different variations. It'd be okay, but just bear in mind the typical melodic way of going about it is thumb on the lower string and finger on the higher string. So if you just have a look at measure 4, finger, thumb, finger, finger, thumb, finger, and so on. Now thumb, measure 5, thumb, finger, thumb, and then finger, thumb, finger. So as we cross back, thumb takes the lower string, finger takes the higher string, whichever string that may be. That really does work, but again, it's all in the tablature. Now, pickandlessons.com, we're going to break down the second half of this tune. We're going to have a look at part B. There are more rhythm variations. The melody moves around a lot more, so we'll certainly break that down, but you'll also be able to find the tablature there as well. So pickandlessons.com, I'll see you there.